Back when dial-up tones still echoed through households and the internet felt like a brand new frontier. I was just a college kid trying to figure out life. I had just started at a local junior college and was working a part-time job in the admin office to make ends meet. Eventually, I moved in with my girlfriend, let's call her Lucy, to split the rent. Things were simple back then. Quiet, even. For a while. One night, Lucy said she wanted to invite a friend over for game night. Her name was Sarah. Sure, I thought. Why not? Let's be social. Turns out, I actually knew Sarah. We'd gone to the same high school. We weren't exactly best friends, but we had that familiar, easy kind of vibe. She was smart, witty, and had a laugh that filled the room. Game night was a hit. We played, laughed, had snacks, and for a little while, it felt like the world had shrunk down to this cozy, warm little bubble of good people and good energy. Sarah kept coming around after that. She became part of our circle, movie nights, dinners, more games. And sometimes, she brought her boyfriend. Let's call him Jay. From the very first moment he walked through our door, the temperature dropped. Jay was the kind of guy who wore silence like a weapon. He'd sit stiffly in the corner, arms crossed, like everyone else in the room had insulted him without saying a word. He didn't smile, didn't joke, didn't try. You could practically hear the air go stale when he entered. And it wasn't just me. Everyone felt it. His presence was uncomfortable. Still, we put up with him, for Sarah. That was until one night, everything changed. Sarah called Lucy crying. It wasn't the kind of sniffly, I had a bad day, cry. This was something deeper. Broken. Scared. She asked if she could come over immediately. No hesitation, we said yes. When she arrived, her eyes were red and swollen, mascara streaked down her cheeks. She tried to smile, to laugh it off like she always did, but her voice trembled. Jay had accused her of cheating. With who? She didn't know. Maybe me. Maybe Lucy. Maybe both of us. He didn't say. He just yelled. Accused. Cornered. And when she tried to leave, he shoved her. She stumbled backward, caught the edge of the coffee table, and crashed down hard. She didn't show me, but Lucy saw the bruise. Said it was huge. Dark. Ugly. It spanned her hip and lower back like a cruel signature. And something inside me cracked. Let me be clear, I've never been a violent guy. I'm built like a linebacker, sure. But I've never thrown a punch in my life. I hate confrontation. I avoid it like the plague. But that night, I wanted to destroy him. Not just hurt him, end him. Quietly. Cleanly. Without a single scratch on my hands. And then, I realized I could. You see, I worked in the school's administrative office. I had access to records, schedules, ID numbers, enrollment data. I didn't even have to break any firewalls. Everything was laid out in front of me like an open book. All it took was knowing what to look for. Jay, as it turns out, was a foreign student. And foreign students, they have rules. Rules about enrollment, credit hours, maintaining status. Drop below the required course load, and you're done. Deported. Game over. So I waited. Patiently. The way a trapdoor spider waits at the edge of its burrow. The school's deadline to add or drop classes without a penalty was coming up. It was a narrow window, and the last day snuck in fast. On that day, I used the enrollment phones in the admin office. These weren't internet-based. They were direct line systems. Practically untraceable. I pulled up Jay's student ID. I dropped every single one of his classes. Every last one. Then, just for fun, I added a bunch of random courses with high material fees. Art, photography, engineering labs. Each one came with a nice, juicy bill. See, if you owe the school money, they hold your records. Your transcripts. You can't register, can't transfer, can't do squat. But here's the masterpiece, the silent stroke of genius. I never told a soul. Not Lucy. Not even Sarah. I wanted no connection. No trail. The next Tuesday, Sarah came home buzzing with adrenaline. She had just come back from her English class. Jay was supposed to be there. Same class, same hour. But something unexpected happened. When she walked in, there was a new student, someone standing awkwardly near the back, because all the desks were taken. The teacher looked confused, checked the roster, then called roll. Guess who didn't get called? That's right, Jay. Apparently, Jay stood up, tried to argue. I'm enrolled, he insisted. But the teacher just shook their head. You're not on my list, they said. I'm sorry. You're not in this class. Sarah said he looked lost, like the world had shifted beneath his feet and no one warned him. He never came back to that class. Weeks later, I peeked at his file again. Every class I'd enrolled him in with a fee, gone. He had nothing left on his schedule. Nothing. Did he get kicked out? Maybe. Did he get sent back to his home country? Possibly. Did he deserve it? Absolutely. I never got the punchline moment of seeing his bags packed, or watching his name vanish from the system entirely. But I didn't need it. Because that look on his face, standing in the middle of a classroom he thought he owned, arguing with a professor who didn't even know his name, that was enough. He disappeared. Quietly. Just like I wanted. No fanfare. No confrontation. Just gone. Sometimes I wonder, was it too harsh? Did I go too far? But then I remember the fear in Sarah's voice. The bruises. The shove. And I remind myself, you don't get to hurt people and walk away clean. Not when someone like me is watching. If this story made your blood boil, and then cooled it with sweet justice, smash that like button and drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in my place? And hey, subscribe if you want more real stories where the bad guys get exactly what they deserve. Because sometimes, revenge is better served administrative.